I'm Terrence Summers, your host, head coach Dustin Wilson, and welcome to Lockeroom Talk. This show is a sit down between two SHS alums, and we're talking ball. It's like a conversation post practice, and it's not a better time I feel to have it with Social Dweeb Sports having its fifth season and 2022 bringing us Team 111 of the Springfield High School Yellow Jackets. Speaking of Team 111, Coach, hit the ground running, literally. What did you see out of that team? You know, if you had any question marks going into it, did any questions get answered for you about this team last Friday night in Greenboro?
Yeah, sure. Flair can play football.
Yeah.
Both sides of the football. And if you notice our first defensive play, they went after another basketballer turned footballer now with Cromwell. So great when you're talking about depth and playing football and looking at a season. It's two incredible, just positive feelings out of both of them. You know, you get two football players. Some young kids maybe. Alan Dickerson's first time playing a lot of ball defensively, and so defensive line play good. You know, one of them cogs is he had a good game. Some other young questions. Betts come in and stuck somebody late and got a pick too, so that's good seeing him, sophomores, playing some football. Yeah, we got some questions answered, and we'll still continue to do that as we get some kids back this week and move on to week 2.
I think Coach Holman up in the booth, he may have, wet his pants a little bit over Flair, Coach. He was going crazy. He was loving what he was seeing. I was like, he can go. Look at him, T. I was like, yeah, he's a great addition to this program, and we're glad to have him.
Who wasn't grinning at that moment? I mean, that's just what it is. It was smooth. It was a good ball. You know, you can look at Crenshaw's stats, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but that's one of them plays that he can add to yours. Offensive weapons, and it was smooth, it was pretty, it was fun, and he can play football.
Defensively, Coach Drew Wilson, defense, but his defense for a long time now. I feel we played great up front.
Yep.
Stuff to run. Greenboro wants to run the ball. They kind of come out and try to do a little pass, and they have athletes to try to spread around a little bit, but running the football is their main thing. And Friday night they had 34 yards rushing, and they might football people know that's something. You hold somebody to 34 yards rushing, they have quite a few attempts that D-line and linebackers play well.
I mean, when you're looking at stats, we sit down and we try to get them done and get them to the paper and media before we leave. And you're going down there and looking at their rushes. It's 4, -2, -2, 4, 3. You didn't see the big rushing play, and that's what that result is. You didn't have that big one. They had that one big pass play where we broke down on our man coverage on our sidelines to the back out of the backfield, but beyond that, it was good effort by everybody reading your keys and getting those week 1 jitters out of the way and buckling down. And, when it boils down to it, it's Jimmy's and Joe's, and ours looked good Friday night.
Speaking of defense, for me, being a defensive guy,
Ain't we all?
my main thing is them turnovers.
Yep.
4 turnovers week 1, you can't ask for any better. It's those turnovers that's the game.
Yep.
I think so. I guess we was probably +3, I guess, because we had one
I was going to say,
ourselves.
when you talk about turnovers, we had one.
Yeah.
I think it was just Trey getting it stripped from behind.
So that'll be we make us +3
that's
on the season, and that's great.
That's
Coming
good
out
football.
the gate and you creating turnovers. Defense happy. Coach Brushman over with the curl ball, the turnover curl ball. It was a great night defensively. And speaking of those basketball guys, Flair and Cromwell end up leading the defense in tackles, which is another wow, okay, because you have
football.
You got all state guys on this defense, and you add 2 basketball players, and they can come out there and do that. That's a great
Something
addition.
too, not talk about Keontae is he played a bunch of football. I guess that's another question, if you will, that he answered. But he played a lot. He played enough football tonight to get tired and know that he ain't played in a long time. But he played some defense, and at the end too, when we were needing a little bit more downhill clock grinding, you seen number 11's appearance at the end. So that was another good question. Having him back.
And that depth there, the running back spot, that's
big deal.
That's lovely.
Yep.
Great to have. Moving on to the offensive side of the ball, O-line play. I feel like the O-line played great. Good protection. Was driving people off the ball. At first, it was kind of like a stalemate there between their D-line and our O-line. And I told Coach Holman, give it a little time, and it'll come through. And they came through and did good and end up with 225 yards rushing.
That's a good goal. When they get over 200, is good. You got to have something to look for. That's a tough spot. I mean, it's one of them you don't ever get noticed till hitting the backfield or the guy beside you may not do something right, but it's a thing of beauty when it works together. So yeah, them throwing a different front out there and having to test our mental a little bit, and we settle down, and you can always grade and be better. So we'll be better next week. But they did do a good job, and there's that stat, 225 rushing yards. So you don't do that without linemen.
Yes, sir. Then I got here Crenshaw Cobbins.
Yeah.
A connection I think we might get used to, Coach. I like it. You know, a senior quarterback, junior receiver. Cobbins was hot last year in Northeast when we were down a lot of guys, and unfortunately he took that shoulder injury and
breaking up a pass.
And he bounced back here, Coach. And week 1, it looked beautiful. The connection was there. I know preseason's been there.
Yeah.
I think they've connected at every scrimmage, I believe.
Yeah, it's a good pass. It's a good route for him. But would we throw a quick game to him as well? And a little hitch route. So I mean, when you got weapons, and you talk about Flair, and then you talk about Cobbins, and we ain't talked about Trey yet.
Yep.
And then little Cobbins had an incredible showing the other night in the JV game, so he's close.
Yeah.
You know, you got Cromwell that can play. I mean, it's no secret, no scouting report there. Our kids are out there. So yeah, CJ stepped up the other night, and pick him up, and hopefully we'll have another one. But it looks good. Ought to be fun to beat Crenshaw.
Man,
Yeah.
real fun, Coach.
Yeah.
Looking at a few offensive stats, I'm going to read these out. I know a lot of people, this is kind of like for the viewers, a lot of people catch me after the game, how much is such and such out? And I'm sitting there like, I don't know. I'm just like you in the stands watching it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can catch it after the game. A few stats, passing-wise.
5 of 13.
5 of 13, 116, 2 touchdowns for Crenshaw.
No interceptions.
No interceptions.
Yep.
The Jackets, 339 yards total offense. Greenbrier, 148 yards total offense. Daniels,
Daniels get around 80.
78 yards,
Yeah.
a touchdown.
Crenshaw broke 100.
Crenshaw one-on-one, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Then you have
Tez probably
Tez,
getting
7
30,
for 40.
Yeah, they're 35 or 40 hard yards. Yeah, good yards.
Good yards.
Carries, yeah.
Good. What I like to call them game-ending yards. You want to milk that clock and get first downs.
Finishing too. Then other teams question themselves a little bit. He
Yep.
puts it in there and pounds it. So he's a finisher.
Yes, sir. When we come back from break, we'll start talking about Clarksville High. Move on to that long-time rivalry. We'll move on to that and get into that a little bit. We'll be back here on Locker Room Talk. Welcome back to Lockeroom Talk with head coach Dustin Wilson. Moving on to the Clarksville game, longtime rival, longest rivalry in high school football in Middle Tennessee. Springfield versus Clarksville rings ears. People get a little attention. You know, Clarksville can be down, Springfield can be down, but when that game happens, people come out and come watch that.
No matter your age, you probably had a little piece of Springfield-Clarksville rivalry.
Yeah.
It's we played too many times.
Speaking of Springfield Clarksville, I got a little history. You know, I like history a little bit, Coach. It's a little
All
bit
right.
better than math. Don't tell Coach Drew that. He know that. In 1981, Springfield, one of the best Springfield teams in that era, had a great season, beat a lot of teams, won the district, and
This year we beat is that the
Gallatin.
Last time we
Yeah.
beat Gallatin before 14.
before
yeah.
2014, that was the last time we beat guys in 1981. Coach Jerry Pearson, Powell, you know, plenty of black backs coming at you. They won the district and ended up getting beat by Clarksville in the playoffs. 2006, you know, Josh Bay, Johnson Nutley and them, Coach John Alford, great team. 10-0, perfect season. End up in the playoffs. Well, Mud Bowl, first of all. We call it the Mud Bowl. I know
Yeah,
a lot of
I remember, I think, sitting down there in the pine trees of
Yeah.
Clarksville looking at who's going to move the ball first.
Yeah.
It was wet, for sure.
at Clarksville. They beat them up pretty good. I think the game was like 7-0, 7-3. It was very low scoring. But anyway, Springfield capped off a 10-0 season that year. Ended up getting beat by Clarksville at home in the playoffs in 2010, which I was a part of. We beat them 35-7 in the regular season, went 8-2. Coach Kelly Myers, and then end up beating us first round of the playoffs. And that's just a little sad history from our side for Clarksville. And I know I know some Clarksville people and a lot of guys I play with, and they always bring it up. They know that history, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you know that. But it's probably a highlight of their
Yeah.
school history.
Yeah, well, you take all them schools that's in Clarksville right now, and they trying to hold on to get a little bit more tradition. You hear some of the younger guys, kind of that Ohio State, Clarksville High School, like it's the school in Clarksville, like different here. Like we're the school in town, like it's always been old, just old history. No matter who's playing, we got some of it. So yeah, man, I'll save it for later. But we all got a Clarksville story.
Yeah, and I think it's neat that literally anybody who ever played Springfield High School football got to have a Clarksville story because everybody doesn't play them. You know what I mean?
So this is time 99. You think we're right on that? You pulled through that?
I believe this is a 99th game, and next year make the 100th meeting.
All right, so 57, 34,
Yep.
and ties, 3 or 4 ties.
Like 3 or 4 ties,
You know
yeah.
it's old when you got ties in your record.
You know, moving on to Clarksville, the great opponent. I still run a triple option, right? With different option variations.
It's an option.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tackle the dive.
Yep.
You're going
Respect
to
the
have the
quarterback.
quarterback
Get the
and
pitch
know the
man.
pitches there.
And I love, me personally, I know you the coach, you probably like, I don't want to see this, but I love that our program can see that kind of option play early in the season. So
Yeah.
it's kind of beneficial as you go through the season and into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you want to prepare for everything because different strokes, different folks. But we've coached against him for 10 years now. He had Jalen Reeves-Maben that little stretch at Northeast, and he took the Clarksville High. So take out 2020, we've played an Isaac Shelby coach team. He's going to run the option. They do it good. He's a good coach, and you know what he's going to run.
Yeah. Here we go. This is what I think you was looking at here.
Uh-oh.
Favorite Clarksville memory as a player or a coach?
I got one for sure this week. I was ready for this, and you put me on the spot last. This is easy for me as a player. You know how you on good teams, they got Jimmy's and Joe's,
Yeah.
right? So when I was on a team, Jimmy's and Joe's, well, Tremaine Turner happened to be on our team, so
Yeah.
you're going to look at him a little bit. But even looking at Clarksville, they had Jay Bailey. So my senior year in 1997, Tremaine run for over 100, Jay run for over 100, Antoine Lucas run for over 100, and even myself, they must have been watching Tremaine and Antoine a lot because I got over 100. You know, if I went for over 100, they was looking at something else besides the ball. But the biggest part about that is a kid on Clarksville High's team was the Austin P head football coach. And if that probably wouldn't have happened that night, I may not ever play college football.
Wow.
So my memory holds strong at Clarksville High School, and it was at Boy Smith in 1997, and an old football coach called me over the summer and aggravated me because he seen me play football one night. So that's got to be my favorite memory as a player.
And that's a great memory. I never heard that story, Coach. And I
Yeah.
think that's great because
Bill Smits, rest in peace. His son Matt Smits was playing quarterback as a junior, and He come and watched the game, and I didn't get recruited to play football. It's
Yeah.
non-scholarship, so he called some kids he saw watching Matt play football, and I just happened to be one of them. So it's opportunity, just like it is now.
Yeah.
Opportunity exists because somebody sees you, just don't ever when they're looking.
That's nice. That's a great story because I think that game ended up getting you, a college degree. Basically,
That's right. Yeah,
long story short.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't a scholarship.
Yeah.
I may not went to school. I was going to. I had plans. Don't get me wrong, but it's all about your opportunity. And I went to school for sure when he started ringing that over and over all summer. And I got a degree. That's right.
And we spoke about it last week. Talking about the My TV 30 games. The kids getting hyped up for that and being on TV. It's fun for them. I played on My TV 30. Actually, my best classroom memory was playing on TV against classroom my junior year. We played at Boyd Smith Field. My TV 30 it's when they did Thursday nights instead of Fridays. It was sprinkling a little bit, and we went all back and forth all night. And I think we beat them on the last possession. Great memory. It was a great time, fun time at Boyd Smith Field. And but My TV 30 coming to town this week. Clarksville coming to town. My TV 30 is coming to town. Big game. Everybody in Middle Tennessee will be watching. I know you kind of get fired up for that too, don't you, Coach?
Yeah, it's fun. You get to put your stuff out there on the spotlight. Don't matter when they roll up. They're pulling out the media and making sure that you don't get in your booth. But, they get up here and we welcome them. But, our field's on spotlight. There was a reporter here yesterday getting her background story. There was one today wanting to hear about the kids. Again, there's an opportunity. Who knows? Some coach might be watching his kid on cable TV because that's the only opportunity to do it. And when more eyes are on us, it's definitely fun to show off the brand.
Yeah, and that's my thing for it is to show off the brand. And I think we're starting off pretty good, Coach. They keep coming back every year.
Yeah, we've been. Well, if you was going to ask me on the plate or put me on the coaching spot today for Clarksville, I think our first one here out back was it may have been on TV.
It was.
But the first game here was against Clarksville, so that was a good. I think that's back maybe in the big kid that went to Vandy. They had it's close to that anyway. But that's probably about my best one as coaching. But man, when they come, it's different. It's longer days because you got to get stuff ready for media and stories and preparing. And but it's good when you get to show off the brand. And more than just that would walk to the gates.
Yep. Here I got now merch tent Friday night.
Yep.
Coach always has a merch tent in the end zone. Social Dweebs be putting some gear in there. I have a shirt here, reference. We call this the Dweeb playing football, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Social Dweeb Sports on the
Turn
front.
that thing around. I done seen them gold socks, ain't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I like them gold socks.
Ball on the front. You can get this shirt. You can get that hat, and you can get this throwback Jackets hat. A lot of people already talking about this hat because I think they're liking it a little bit.
It's nice. I've seen it on Coach Buttram's dashboard already. But I got them from T just a little bit to make sure everybody's aware. We've always had the tent.
Yep.
So now that we don't have tickets because it's all GoFan and digital, we're going to transition and try to make the apparel in one of the old ticket booths on the east side.
Okay. So
it'll be hanging in there, but it'll still be tinted probably out the back door. But it's going to be here. Social Dweebs gear's there. Some new hats. Some new. It's not 2022 shirts. We're not changing our brand. I'm stubborn and hard-headed on that. Just like that throwback hat that's on the side of our helmet still. Yeah. But if you want to get some stuff, some hats, some gear, we'll transition to winter. But that's where it's going to be at. Your stuff will be available in there as well.
And I know I got to get down there and get one of them jackets, license plate, the front coat. I go around town. I be riding. I see people with those jackets on the front. I blow at them. Hey.
Jackets are SVT.
Yeah, they look beautiful in front of the cars. And that's pretty much it, Coach. As always, the haze in the barn. Tomorrow walk through again, and we'll be looking forward to hosting Clarksville on Friday night.
Round number 99, Clarksville High School in Springfield. Get to be a little bit of spotlight on TV. Obviously, with yourself putting it out there on the social media, if you will, or YouTube channel. 1-0 record. Clarksville had to play a 6A opponent, McGavitt, with that dude going to Michigan State. Records are out the window because it don't matter when we battle. It's going to be close and it'll be down to a possession or real near at the end. So good football coming at you guys.
Encourage everybody, literally everybody and their mama, to come out and see this Clarksville Springfield game because it's a game that everybody, like we said earlier, has been involved in. Even parents. The parents have been in school and been involved in this game as students. Now you're adults. Come out, fill the stands. Let the Jackets know we're behind them. Tonight at 7 p.m. on Social Media Sports, we'll be releasing the Week 1 highlight. Everybody tune in and see that. And like I said, we'd love to see everybody out Friday night as we host Clarksville here on My TV 30. Big Rivalry, number 99. Head coach Dustin Wilson. I'm Terrence Summers. See you guys Friday. This has been a Locker Room Talk.